Guys, I made multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in just the last year trading Solana meme coins. But if I lost it all today, in this video, I'm gonna show you step by step all the lessons and absolute best way to get back to my first 100K, even if you are a complete beginner. Now, I know you clicked on this video for a reason. You see actual kids making life-changing money every single day from 100x returns, 300x returns, even thousands of X's within weeks, hours even. So don't be that person still losing just gambling, trying to make it happen. I've already made an entire free course breaking down everything, and it's better than every guru out there. But this video, I'm gonna show you how to fast track that and give you the most important gems like the strategy, filters, mindset, and everything that most gurus would charge for. Guys, I've been in crypto for years now. I dropped out of college for this. I lived off of Web3 for the past 7 years, and I got my mom a house, got my dream car, been to over 30 countries, all of that. Now, if you really want to get results, stay locked in because I would have paid thousands of dollars for this type of knowledge early on. So let's jump into it. Okay, guys, so for step one, you guys saw the setup behind me. Now it's in front of me. This is basically the type of setup that you want. Some type of laptop. You want at least one monitor. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. In the past, I've made 6 figures just off of Solana, off of my phone, okay? But things were a lot different back then. Things are way more competitive now. There's a lot more platforms built on Solana, a lot more tools that give traders an edge. So it's only getting more and more competitive. So you need to catch up as fast as you can, especially in this first phase right here on setting up. The next thing that you want to do is get an account on X. On X is where the crypto community is formed, otherwise known as crypto Twitter. This is Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Axiom, Elon, the creator of Pump Fund. Now, what you can do is just follow me on X at TILLA and look at the people that I'm following. Okay, look at the people that I'm following, follow those people. You need to get in tune as fast as possible because it's in the crypto community. It's the lore, it's the culture that forms a lot of narratives. You gotta be caught up on all of those things. Now, the next thing that you want to do is download Telegram and Discord. I have a free Telegram that you can join, and I also have a paid Discord alpha group. Now, this is important, especially if you're new to all of this, to get your questions answered, get those one-on-one conversations, be in voice chats so that you're not trading alone, and get regular updates of what's going on in the community, in the meme coin space. This is very important so you know what's alpha, what to kind of stay away from with a community. So it's not just your insights, it's a lot of good traders' insights on one thing. Of course, we have advanced tools, Majitsu tools, bundle trackers, top wallet analyzers, all of those things. But what's important is just that you don't trade alone and catch up as fast as possible on all the lore, all the culture. So that's one of the first things that you want to do. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to go over to Phantom, and you see it here on my screen. You're going to go to Phantom and you're going to download it for Chrome, download it on your mobile device as well, create an account. What it's going to do next is give you a pair of private keys. You're going to save those keys. That's what keeps your crypto safe. If you don't have your keys, you don't have your crypto. If anybody gets a handle of that, if anybody gets that, if you save it in the wrong place, somebody sees it, it becomes compromised, they can take whatever crypto is in there. So keep that safe. Now, once you make a Phantom account, that's all set. This is where you're going to operate on Web3. Now, you have to fund up with Solana. So what you're going to do is go on a site like Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, whatever it is. I like Coinbase, and you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna buy some Solana. Very simple. You connect your debit card, your bank, whatever it has to be, get verified, buy some Solana, and you're gonna send it over to your Phantom wallet, okay? And you'll have your Phantom wallet bookmarked here as you see. So once you do that, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna make an Axiom Pro account. Now guys, Axiom is the best platform right now for Solana meme coin traders. I've talked about it extensively. I've made tutorials about Axiom. So you could go back on my other videos and go check that out. But what you're going to do is you're going to go on Axiom. You're going to use my link in the description. I actually just became an official partner. So you get 10% less fees. You get double the rewards. So make sure you're on the right link and get started with my code RAGE. And once you do, you're going to go ahead and you're going to fund up. And once you're funded up, you're going to deposit some Solana here. This is a safe platform backed by Y Combinator, big companies behind this. This is why it's accelerated past every other platform really fast. And I'm going to show you why in a second. But very safe, but you always want to save your private keys. no matter what, okay? If you want to recover them, you want to upload them into your Phantom wallet, whatever it might be. So Axiom is where we do what's called scanning. So you see here, I'm on Pulse. This is where you're going to be a majority of the time. Now, if you go to trackers, this is the only other thing that you need to know right now, must need to know, is trackers. So we have wallet tracker and we have Twitter tracker. Now, what Axiom just did recently is they added a Truth Social tracker in the feed. Truth Social, for example, is where Trump, a lot of political figures get information first. And you can see here, Donald Trump posts, we get it first here with Truth Social. Really fast. I was actually blown away with how fast their Twitter tracker is, and their wallet tracker is actually next level. It changed the whole game, right? Because we have private monitors in our own Discord. We have Instagram monitors. We're still a little bit ahead on things that we have that other platforms don't have, but the pace that Axiom is growing is actually crazy. So there is a Truth Social monitor, Twitter. So you can go into Rage Pro in our alpha group, and I give you a list of all the best wallets, and I give you a list of all the best accounts to follow on Twitter for your monitor specifically. It's a little bit different from your personal account versus your monitor. We follow a lot more important ones. So make sure you download that, and you can import it straight into your feed just like this. You press import and copy it and paste it into it. Same thing with the wallet manager. And then you'll see as soon as somebody makes a trade, you can open up the wallet tracker as well on Pulse. Okay, so wallet tracker, boom, live trades. And then you can just click on any given ticker, just like that. See, Assassin just got into a trade, stick fart, and we're already on it. If we want to look into it, do some due diligence, whatever the case is. And then we'll also see track trades get printed on the chart as well. As you see here, he bought into it and you see he's still in, he hasn't sold. Okay, so really cool features on here. For the wallet tracker, I like our Discord wallet tracker a little bit better, but the Twitter tracker they have on Axiom is next level with Truth Social. I love it. Our monitor, we have Instagram monitor as well, but that isn't as popular when it comes to meme coins as much as Twitter. So this is fine. So as you see here, there's new pairs, final stretch, and migrated. And the first thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and change the filters up. So you want to go to filters, and you do that with this little icon here. And on new pairs, the first thing that you're going to focus on is protocols. Pump is obviously Pump Fund. This is where most of the runners have came through. So you definitely want to keep that on. Launch Lab and Bonk are direct competitors to Pump. Okay, so Launch Lab is Radium. Bonk is obviously from Bonk. And there's been a lot of competition between these three, which is good. They're launching a whole bunch of new updates. They're fighting for the volume pretty much. So there have been runners mostly on Bonk and Pump Fund directly. Now, Launch-A-Coin is a protocol where companies and business owners and people with great ideas, tech, can launch a coin straight from their Twitter or through the Believe app and automatically have a coin. They get revenue from pushing the coin, and we've been seeing coins launch and hit 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 mil same day on Launch-A-Coin as well. It's been really hyped up as of right now in this meta. They're calling it internet capital markets, and it's pretty cool. It's a lot of competition. It's a lot of new, fresh volume, great ideas. Now, who knows what will actually come out of all this, right? At the end of the day, guys, this is meme coins. I'm just showing you kind of why we have these filters set. It is a lot of volume, and these filters are going to be adjusted for the amount of volume that's coming. So you could absolutely find the best tokens, the best tickers early. And Boop is another protocol more geared to help devs and influencers, dev projects. There's a lot of incentives for a lot of these KOLs and things of that nature. I haven't seen anything great, a few interesting projects come out from this, but either way, something to take a look at. And then you're gonna go down to audit. Now, age maximum, we're gonna have 10-minute maximum. You can lower it to 5 minutes when it's really hot. Dev holding, we're gonna have 5% maximum, and then minimum holders of 10. And then for metrics, we're gonna have a 2,400 volume minimum and a 9,000 market cap minimum. Now, if you go over to final stretch, you're gonna have the same protocols. You're gonna go to audit, you're gonna have a 25-minute maximum. In the case that volume is really hot, you'll do 15-minute maximum. Dev holding, maximum 5%, and a minimum holders of 80. Then you're gonna go to metrics, you're gonna have 25 $25,000 volume, $25,000 minimum market cap. Then you're gonna go over to migrated. You're gonna have the same protocols. And audit, you're gonna have a dev holding maximum of 2%, and you're gonna have holders at a minimum of 200. Then you're gonna go to metrics, and the main metric that we wanna focus on here is a minimum market cap of 65,000. Now, once you apply all of your filters, you're gonna see it filtered down by a lot, because remember, there are thousands of meme coins being created every single day. Now, with all of the competition, it's a whole bunch of volume. Markets are hot. Every single day, we're getting $10 million runners, multiple 10, 20, $30 million runners, $100 million runners. We've been so back. So you want to pay attention to those filters. It's going to give you a huge edge in the market and filter out a lot of the bullshit. For display settings, I have mega large buttons so that I can go ahead and click things really fast. And you guys can take a screenshot and kind of see what I'm paying attention to here. Now for buy settings, with the volume that's happening on chain, I showed you guys in other videos, if you're working with a smaller port, you can just copy this and sell settings here. Now, when volume is really high, your transactions can fail and you might not always get filled in the best way. So with high volume and with market conditions the way they are now, what you want to do is you want to go set up a new preset and put auto fees. You're going to put auto fees and you're going to put a maximum fee of 0.05. Now this way, in any given token that you're in, this is going to give you the absolute best fills according to market conditions. So you'll always get filled really fast and you'll always be first and you won't have any trouble with transactions. Axiom is literally goated for this. This is the only platform where you can actually do that. And then you could go ahead and do the same thing for sells as well. So 0.05, and then I have 100% slippage just so that I could get out of a trade at any given moment. So those are the settings that you primarily want to use. And when you open up any given coin, let's look at this coin, for example. I like to look at the 1 second chart because we're in so early, there's not a lot of data to go off of. So when you're scanning, you're on the 1 to 15 second charts. And then I like to click on instant trade here to get instant fills. So if I press 0.5, I'm instantly in the trade. If I press 2, I'm instantly 2 Solana deep in the trade. So instead of a 2-step click like you would do here, you put in the amount, then you press buy. This just does an instant buy. So you're just that much faster on your buys and your sells. And I really like it. You have the sell initials buttons here, and you also have the sell initials over here. Okay. And you can also set your presets in here as well. Okay, family. So in here, you see your trades, you see your orders, you see your holders, top traders, dev tokens, all of these things. I go more in depth into this in the course as well, but just a short overview. Holders, you can see the top 10 holders. You want to usually see less than 25% top 10 holders so nobody could dump on you. And then bundles. Now bundles is really important because this is just an advanced way that people dump on the charts, right? These are people who buy with a bunch of different wallets so that it looks organic. It looks like an even distribution, but it's really one person controlling all the supply and they'll dump on you later. Now, the one thing about Axiom is it's hard to be very accurate on bundles, but what we do have in Rage Pro is we have a tool and it's called the Magistu tool. And if you go to Rage Pro, you see the alpha chat. We're chatting up in the alpha chat here, but we'll go to bot commands and you see people in the pro VC right now. I'm about to hop in, we'll get real active and we can search for bundles. Okay, we can search for noteworthy holders, a bunch of things, and it'll give you a way more accurate analysis on the bundles and specifically what wallets hold the bundles and how much. So that's very important so that you don't get dumped on later on. So that's a few things that you want to take note of. And then top traders. Top traders are the people who just made the most money. You can find good wallets to track and things of that nature in here as well. So that's basically how we're scanning. On new pairs, it's a lot more risky than on migrated. So for the most part, if you're sitting on migrated only and you see a narrative pop up and it makes a lot of sense and it's already on migrated and distribution looks okay, the chart doesn't look funky, you might have a runner on your hands. You just want to understand the narrative. If you understand our narrative and you get in with everything that I showed you so far, you can make an easy 2-3x sell initials and stay relatively safe. You see, this is a coin, chocolate coin, that a lot of wallets are getting into. This might have some type of potential. It already ran up to close to 300K. If we saw this earlier, when it first migrated, if you're scanning diligently and you see smart wallets getting in, let's say worst case, we got in sub 100K, we would have already made a 2x on this trade. So you can see how people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars in the trenches every single week. Okay, some people daily. So it's really a next level type of grind when you understand these things. Okay guys, so that's how you scan for meme coins on Pulse. Now, like I said earlier, 99% of these coins are going straight to zero, and devs are just getting more creative on how they bundle and scam potential buyers like you and me. So we got to be diligent, and we have to do our due diligence in every single coin, doing the research, knowing the lore, knowing the narratives, all of these things. When I first got started with crypto, I got lucky. Even some of my first trades were just lucky, ignorant. There's a point where you don't know much and you get beginner's luck, and then you start struggling a little bit, and then you become more knowledgeable and it becomes an actual skill set, right? So in the beginning, I wasn't as knowledgeable. I just got lucky on a few trades, and then I started to notice that following a lot of these KOLs can be destructive too. They're either dumping on their copy traders, or they're in these cabal groups. For example, it'll be a bunch of people who have the resources necessary to just pump a coin and dump on all their followers. A lot of the biggest channels or the biggest KOLs have been exposed for doing things like this. So that's why you want to make sure that you're a part of a group with people who are seriously scanning, seriously doing research, and calling good plays, actual trenchers, not just KOLs that are buying up supply and dumping on retail later on. So that's one big tip that I could give you guys. Now, I started Rage Pro for this exact reason, so that I could find like-minded traders to trench with. We scan together, we send alpha together, we have the most advanced tools and a full A to Z course breaking down everything that you need to know when it comes to scanning in the meme coin trenches. Guys, we have wins like crazy. Just this week, we called it 50x on Grok coin. We have scanners in our group who called it 1000x on Yeezy coin, just doing the due diligence. We have profits and P&Ls left and right, people making thousands of dollars every single day in our group. We just made this alpha group less than 2 months ago, and it's already blowing up crazy, thousands of members. So definitely tap in while you can, family. We don't know how long any bull run lasts. Every cycle is different. We've been blessed to have a crazy amount of volume in the trenches every single day, every single week, nearly month 5 of the year. Hopefully we get another 6 months to a year of this crazy opportunity, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it does not last forever. So in this next part of the video, I'm gonna show you every single thing, mental, risk management, even more in-depth and nuanced strategy that you need to know to stay profitable in the meme coin trenches and to just never lose, right? If you can never lose or mitigate those losses, you will make and retain a lot more money in the trenches based off of what we went over so far. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, guys. So we're going to go over how to actually never lose trading meme coins. This is going to be everything that I've learned, all the lessons that made me profitable trading crypto in the past 10 years, 10 hours plus a day, every single day. There's a lot you learn. So I hope you guys gain a ton of value from this video. So look, the first thing is trade with 10 Solana or with a minimum of 3 to 5 SOL. Now, really 5 SOL minimum at this point. You want to trade with 10 Solana and money that you can afford to lose. Now, if you're not at that point, you really shouldn't be trading at all. You should be saving up. You should be working, side hustles, whatever you got to do, because I'm going to tell you this, it will take a huge toll on your emotions, on your mental. If you're trading with rent money, if you're trading with bills due, it's a lot different. Whereas if it's more disposable income. So your crypto portfolio should primarily be in majors. Now guys, this isn't financial advice, this is just what helped me. You want to use 10% of your entire crypto portfolio to actually trade in meme coins and day trade in the way that we trench. So for example, I was able to get into Bitcoin, average 4,000, Solana average $25, XRP average sub 20 cents. So by accumulating these, dollar cost averaging, building an average, which just means putting in not a lump sum, but a weekly amount into crypto. So you don't just buy a top, or maybe you don't buy the bottom directly, but you get a nice average through the ups and the downs. So with those averages, for me, that was an easy 20, 30x on my entire portfolio just by sitting back and holding. Crypto's risky, but it's a lot safer doing it this way, right, with majors than gambling on Solana. And yes, it's educated gambling. It's more of a skill set, which we're going to go over. People are extracting millions of dollars a month off of this, which we'll go over, but still you want to make money. So building on majors and trading with around 10% of your portfolio is the smartest way to do it. So if you aren't there yet, I would suggest saving up, stacking up until you're there, until 10% of your entire portfolio is at least 10 Solana, and then you trade that, and then you take your profits and put it into your majors, and we'll go over all of this more in depth throughout the video. So if you're not there yet, you got to stack up, you got to do research, you got to study at least the majors, which is really just buying on Coinbase, set a weekly buy and call it a day. And when you have enough to trade, then you jump in with 10 Solana, okay? Now, that's different from paper trading. If you're brand new to this, then you could trade with like 1 SOL. This is like paper trading. The fees are gonna eat you up. You're probably not gonna flip it like crazy. You're more likely to lose it. We call this tuition fees. You wanna trade in one of the biggest financial markets in the world, is gonna cost. It's not gonna be free, it's not gonna be easy. It's simple, but it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna cost some money. We're making more than doctors, lawyers, and they pay hundreds of thousands to get that skill set. This skill set is gonna cost some money. You gotta be in the alpha group. That's why I talk about the alpha group, Rage Pro. That's why I talk about the university. But that's nothing compared to, you know, the wins and losses that you take on the way, on the learning curve. So your first port, you might lose it. You see people on Twitter, on X, showing 1 to 100 P&Ls and all of these things. Those are people that more than likely has been scanning for 16 hours a day for the past year. And maybe you don't know, maybe they're just breaking even. Maybe, you know, don't compare yourself to that, because at the end of the day, that's not realistic. So that first 1 SOL paper trading, yeah, get it out the way, learn, but when you're seriously trading, it's gonna be 10 Solana, okay? Now, the next thing is the platform that you choose. This is very important. I've been trading since BonkBot, Trojan, Photon, upgraded to BullX, right? The whole Nova setup. And those were cool, that was cute, until Axiom came and dominated. Axiom has the lowest fees, less than 1%. Wallet tracker, Twitter tracker. They just dropped Truth Social tracker, which is important because, for example, Trump announced a pause on tariffs on Truth Social before any other network got it. And if you saw that first, then you have an edge. And that small edge, that time gap, could be the difference between a 5x on a trade or 100x on a trade. They even have turbo mode. It makes it faster than any node, any other platform, hands down. And this is the only platform that pays you to trade, as you see here, right? You have incentives to trade on this platform. Okay, so if you're on Axiom, you don't need things like Nova extensions. I mean, I see people still trying to do that whole setup that's completely outdated. Get with the times, Bloom, right? You're literally just throwing money out the window by using those extensions. So trade on Axiom, but this is early access still, invite only. I'm gonna keep the link under this video if you guys aren't on it already, because I talked about it extensively. I gave you a lot of tutorials on this. So we're gonna skip to the next one. Sit on your hands. Now, it doesn't matter if you have a small portfolio. People say, oh, you have a smaller portfolio, you got to sit on your hands. Well, even if you have a bigger portfolio, you should still be sitting on your hands because you're risking more. You have to understand narratives. You have to understand the terminology. And it goes like this. You guys probably heard these terms before, but let's break it down because it's a structure that you want to follow. And this is how you decide how risk on you're going to be on certain trades. There's meta. Now, this is just the overall theme of the markets. The meta with routine was there was a big muscular guy who just went super viral showing his morning routine. That became the meta. Every single thing on Pulse, if you're scanning every single day, had something to do with a routine, crypto routine, night routine, Saratoga, like all of these things. Right now, today, the meta is Gork. Gork is just a bro version of Grok, the AI that Elon Musk created. Okay, it's a bro, funny, meme version of it. And everything that you see on Pulse right now is some sort of AI Gork theme. And we're going to go over that. But that's what the meta is. So usually you want to wait for some type of meta before you're trading. But sometimes a new alpha is going to create the meta. Routine created a meta. Gork created a meta. But sometimes it could be just animals. Sometimes it could be AI. Sometimes it could be TikTok. And that would be the meta that you see all of the alphas, betas, derivatives kind of forming into. Now, what is alpha? Alpha is an original narrative. It's viral. It can create a new meta, and it usually has up to 100 mil or more potential depending on how hot the market is. So
I put 10x minimal, because if you're scanning all day, you're going to catch any narrative, you're going to catch any scan sub 1 million. So if it's 100 mil potential, you're more likely to get 100x on that if you're scanning and you're doing this professionally or seriously at least. So routine would be an alpha, Gork would be an alpha. It's never been done before. So when I say sit on your hands, what I mean is literally sit on your hands until something obvious pops up. Last Thursday when Gork popped up, we called this in our private community. We called this in our alpha group, right? On VCs. Hoodie called this literally sub 100K. He called it around 100K. That's like 1,000x at this point. And then we officially called it in alpha around 2 million. This is when we finally realized this thing is real. And even at that, 43x on your return just off of one alpha play. So by getting in alphas or sitting on your hands until you get into alpha is how you make the most money in meme coins. All right, because this is all attention based, all viral based. Not everything is going to get maximum attention. You have to understand that. So these are examples of some alphas. So then there's betas. That's going to be a supporter of the alpha play. So usually this is like 3 million to 10 million potential. All right, and this is where the market is kind of right now. It could be more or less depending on volume, how hot the market is. So routine, he dropped a video. It's going super viral, #1 video on X. And the water that he used was this bougie Saratoga themed water that he kept showing. And it was just funny. People turned it into a meme. It ended up being the beta of the main runner, and it ran to almost 10 million, I believe, right? I think 7 million or something like that to be exact. So if you catch something like this, that's an easy 5x on your money. With size, you can get into size with a beta or alpha play. Same thing with Gork, your mom. Gork made a lot of your mom jokes. Elon Musk co-signed on it. So this is kind of like the fart coin of GOAT. Truth Terminal was another AI on X before Grok and all these were popular, and it made GOAT, and then Fartcoin flipped GOAT. So your mom, just based on history, it kind of has potential to even probably flip Gork. And that's a viral meme already. Your mom jokes has been, I mean, we all know your mom jokes. So then there's derivatives. These are copycats, co-plays. Usually it's something that's going to be funny along with the alpha. Okay, now these don't tend to go as hard. So he dropped another video and it was just his night routine, but there was still maximum attention on this coin. So just getting in on this early, you can easily get a 3x to 5x, because these will usually go 300K to 1 million, sometimes more depending on how viral or who posts it or how it goes down. But it's a derivative. You want to know where you're at on that scale. And then Gork, we got into Gork early and we started sizing in over the weekend, and we knew that Elon Musk was 100% gonna love this. Elon Musk loves memes. He's a big leader in the meme space, knowingly or unknowingly. And what happened next was he ended up changing his name to Gorklon Rust and changing his PFP to Gork. And it pumped our bags like crazy, but also it made more derivatives, right? Gorklon went to like a couple mil. So if you got in early, you was able to catch those X's. Okay, and then there's just gambles. Gambles could be off meta. They're funny. They're usually something maybe you haven't seen before. Sometimes you have seen it. And these are usually, you want to book a 2x to 3x on these, right? So for example, Baby, we caught this, it ran to like 300K, and that was like a quick 4 or 5x if you caught it on final stretch right before bonds. Then Shark, Raptor, Rocket Launcher, tongue twister. This is the most retarded, funny, hilarious. It's like, what is even happening? We was scanning all day. We seen this and it was just random. It was funny. It was obviously a gamble. We called this in alpha chat. It ended up 30x. A gamble ended up 30xing, because the main thing is communities can make any narrative stronger. So you got to understand that no matter where it is on this chart, if a community forms around it and it becomes bigger and gets more attention, that's what makes it a runner at the end of the day. So what started off as just a funny gamble, a funny meme, this ended up getting like a real serious community just talking about it on X. It just became way bigger and it ended up going to mils. So that's going to happen sometimes with gambles. Most of the time you want to book your 2 to 3x, because more often than not, it'll end up right back at 0, just like any meme. But you can leave a moon bag on any memes. Some people in the community were following a little bit more closely. For me, it was more, this is funny, let's bid, catch a 2, 3x, whatever, right? But some people followed up, they stayed close to the community, they kind of more so became a community member and stuck with it and got more X's out of it. And that's completely fine too. As long as you know where you're at on this ladder, you'll know how to risk on. You'll know how to take profits. You'll know what to hold, what not to hold. And this is very, very important. Understanding narratives. Over time, you'll build more of an intuition about this. But for the most part, you want to know where you stand and do your due diligence on every single scan. If you don't know where you are in this on every single scan, if you can't form your own thesis, you shouldn't even be in a trade because you're just gambling. Too many gambles, you're going to lose your port. You want to sit on your hands for alpha. Like I said, last Thursday, we were sitting scanning all freaking day and we didn't get into not one trade. Then Gork came around and Hoodie called it in the chat, in the voice channel. He said, Gork, this looks like a runner. We understood the narrative. We knew we was front running Elon Musk. We saw it before Elon Musk. We knew it was a game changer. We knew we was all making money. That's all we needed. Now, if you can't scan all day and not take a trade, you're not going to make it. Some people are just itching. Their hands are itching for a trade. They're waiting for a call. They just need a call right now. They need to make money, 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 money. You're going to lose everything. I'm telling you right now. You got to be able to scan and not take a trade until something obvious pops up, even if it takes all day, even if your whole day passes and you didn't get into a trade. That's better than losing your whole port on gambles. You got to understand that. So wait for alpha. Sometimes it can be even slower in choppy markets because markets are hot right now and we still waiting all day for one play. But in choppy markets, there might be days where you don't get into anything at all. Some people literally can't do that. And that's why they lose money though. They literally can't not take a trade all day. Are you crazy? Because they're seeing people, gamble on new pairs all day. People who have copy traders, things of that nature. That's a different strategy. Those are people who can dump on their copy traders and have that little bit of cushion. Like it's different. Don't watch these, 5 million a month PNLers who's been doing this for a really long time and compare yourself to them. You want to wait for alpha. So you have to understand it. You have to do your due diligence, not just follow another person's conviction, which is okay in the beginning, right? Some people just only take my calls and they make money. Cool. But at the end of the day, you're not always going to know when to take profits, how much conviction to have. You're not going to have the same emotional stability if you're not doing your own due diligence. You're never going to be able to make money on your own. So always buy according to your rules as well, which is usually going to be around 10% of your port. If you're going to buy into a coin, don't overtrade, don't full port into anything. Now, obviously, if you have a big port and you have a higher risk tolerance, you could size into alpha, right? Up to 20% of your port. And according to structural range, like you want to make sure you're in an uptrend still, not completely dying out and you see it just tanking. You don't want to, just try to catch a falling knife. Wait for it to kind of build up and you see accumulation, things of that nature, then you buy in. I go over more of this in detail in the technical analysis part of the course, but you want to understand those things. So basically, just to make it simpler, you're only sizing in to alpha. Like Gork over the weekend, we were calling it officially since 2 million, unofficially since 100K, 200K in the VC. We was already aping in, and then around 2 million is where we're like, yo, this is going to run. 100% conviction, we're in this. But even over the weekend, it was already at 50 million where we started really sizing in. Why? Because we saw it holding at certain levels. We saw it getting more attention, more followers. We knew Elon was right around the corner from just posting it. And he went above and beyond with his posts, which brought our bags to even 2x from 50 mil. So you want to understand that. You want to study that. And then you want to be able to de-risk if structure breaks. If you holding it at a certain level and it's going down too much, don't try to catch a falling knife. Just get out of the trade completely. So the next thing that you want to understand, just to build on that, is de-risking as fast as possible. The best way to put this is just sell initials. Sell initials. Once you 2x, you want to take a little bit of profit, but sell initials. This takes off risk completely. It takes emotions out of the trade so you can actually hold. Some people think like, oh, I'm losing out on profits by taking out half my position. In a way you are, but in a way you're not, because you're able to hold more effortlessly because you took that out. And you're able to make more money in the long run because of this. So for example, you get in a trade, you get your entry, you buy on the dip, textbook, like we talk about, right? It 2x's. This is 2x. And then you sell initials. Okay, and Axiom makes this easy. You could literally just press sell initials on the chart. So sold initials, now you're risk free. So you got in with one sold at 50K market cap. You sold initials at 100K market cap. Now 100K market cap is really your one sold entry kind of. at this point, but it's risk-free. It's only profit, right? So yeah, maybe it'll dip again, but now you're not this guy. You're not this guy who's scared and nervous and freaking out over a dip. You're this guy now. You're happy, you're chilling because it's just profits. And you can let this go to 10x profit from there. And then your 1 sol turns to 10 sol, or even just 5 sol if it's from your initial entry, right? 10x from your initial entry is still 5 Solana profit off of 1, which is great returns. So as you build your port, you got to understand it's all relative. So yeah, if you starting with a 10 sol port, for example, and 10% of your position is 1 sol, and you have conviction in this trade and you catch a 10x, right? Which is easy to do. You just seen us call 40x's, 30x's on gambles like nothing. Minimum 5 sol profit after taking initials is not bad, because that same 5 sol with a 20 sol port with the same rules, right? 10% of your port, 10x is a 10 sol profit. That same port with 40 sol is a 20 sol profit off of 1 trade. You only need 1 alpha runner trade in a month. 20 sol, that's like more than what people make at a job on average. You could do that off 1 play. Eventually you'll work your way there, but you have to master the discipline of doing this. Sell initials, okay? And then you see this is just a perfect example. We just call MVG, and then just so you understand the narrative, it's 100 men versus 1 gorilla. You guys seen this. More than likely, it went viral last week. Every influencer, news channels, everybody was talking about 100 men versus 1 gorilla. What would happen? The whole controversy behind it. And we saw this sub 1 million. I saw it over the weekend. I actually saw the tweets first before I saw it got tokenized. As soon as I saw it, I called it in alpha chat, because when I saw the tweets, I was already laughing out loud. I knew it was hilarious. I said, this is going to run, right? If it was a meme. Next thing you know, I'm scanning and I see it turned into a meme coin. It got tokenized. So I sent it in the chat. I said, look, it's still early. This thing has been getting mega viral. It's more likely just going to get more viral. More people are going to talk about it. I got in. I put in a buy limit. Actually, you can see here, I put in a buy limit because I wanted to buy more, right? A small amount. But what I did was I bought in with conviction. I was able to size in comfortably. And as it doubled, tripled actually, I was able to take a little portion, and then it went on another run, take a little portion. And I saw a little struggling a little bit over here. So, and then I ended up just taking the rest out. Easy 4x, right? Easy 4x. Now, guys, you have to understand that if you trade like this every single time, you're never going to lose, because sometimes it could go up 2x, 3x. And I fell asleep on the trade because I probably would have took off initials earlier, but whatever, it worked in my favor. But what happened was, you know, Mr. Beast ended up talking about the meme, and he's a huge influencer, and ended up sending it millions. So we was able to front run that. We was able to front run attention. You have to know where attention is going to be. You got to know, are you early or are you late? There is an in between, but you want to be early, right? And if you know you're early, that's when you size it. And then you want to follow this. You want to follow this all the time. Sell initials every single time. It takes out the emotion, and you're going to be able to trade confidently, right? And use limit orders, because you could sell out of 2x for about 60%. You want to trade, taking out 50% is initials, but I say 60%, so you can at least already have a little bit of profit, no matter how it goes, because it could go all the way back down to your entry. You're still going to have profits because you took out 60%. And if you make that a habit every single time, you're going to see some run, which is amazing. You make way more profit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10x. But more than likely, meme coins dump as well. So when it does dump, you're not upset, you're not sad, right? Maybe you missed out on profits, but you're not losing. And that's the name of the game. You want to be able to trade another day. So moving on, respect the chart. So this is another form of de-risking as well, actually, because what you guys want to do is you want to sell into volume. Every pump that happens once you get into a trade is an exit liquidity window for you. In technicals, this is called higher highs, where the market passes the previous high. In technicals, this is also called like liquidity zones. So you could look right here where I took out, a lot of people were already having their take profits around here. That's why you see, as soon as it starts hitting those levels again, you see here around 275K. And this was just a random trade. I remember, I think it was like an Elon tweet, the creator of Pump Fund. We bought in 60K, more than doubled. It was almost triple. Took out initials, it dipped, it went back up past the new high, took out another clip, right? Around 20% each time, 10 to 20%. And then at the top, I just took out the rest. I was happy with a 4 or 5x. I was fine. It could run, but it was like a tweet. Tweets don't do what they used to these days, right? And I think it ended up crashing as well. So this is what we call trimming. You sell about 20%, 10 to 20% of your position on each pump. While most people are FOMOing in, you're already getting out. These are liquidity zones for a reason, because most people who got in early are getting out anyway. So you're going to see those dips. And instead of getting scared or shaken out, as long as you got in early, as long as you're taking a trade and you got some balls, you're holding the trade, you get out on these pumps. If it's conviction play and you believe in it, you buy on dips. That's where you buy. Dips are for buying. You buy the blood, but you want to trim out of trades like so. Retail traders lose because they FOMO into trades and then they panic sell dips. They do the exact opposite, right? Now, selling into volume is the right way. And it's backwards because a lot of people want to buy into volume, which is okay in a sense, but you want to buy into dips. If it's like a super strong narrative and you're super early and you see a lot of volume, by all means, take the risk. But for the most part, you're already in the trade if you know what you're doing and you're selling into volume. This is how you do it instead of just full clipping out. Now, I do want to say, if you are trading a smaller port, or if it's a derivative, a gamble, you should be a lot more aggressive on profits. You can sell initials, but you can also just full clip your 2 or 3x, right? Until you get to, you know, that 10 sol, 20 sol port. All right, just take the 2x's, 3x's every single time. You can leave a moon bag, whatever the case, but it's also smart to just aggressively take profits. This is a little bit more advanced when you're trading bigger ports. When you have, you know, 10, 20, 30 sol profits on one trade, this is how you're going to clip out. If you're still only taking 2, 3 sol, you could just take the 2, 3x. Wait for the next alpha. You have to have an abundance mindset when it comes to trading because these things happen every single day, multiple times a day. So abundance. So again, like I said, if you have a bigger bag, you want to respect the chart because you're not going to make a lot of profits if you full clip a crazy red candle on the chart. That's just going to create price impact as well. And you lose a percentage of your profits by doing that as well. So you could clip 20% on pumps to max extract out of the coin as well. And it keeps the chart looking healthy. Don't just dump crazy on a trade. You got to respect the chart. So 5, protect your profits, family. Once you made money on a coin, move on. You made your P, you made your profit, move on. Greed kills. A lot of people start comparing themselves to other P&Ls. They start following the hype. They see a good trader just bought inside the chart. That trader might lose. They're not God. I see a lot of traders get in after me and straight lose after I already made a lot of money. Happens a lot. Don't double dip. You made money, abundance. I just said it in the last, the last point. Abundance. There's going to be more. So what you want to do is when you make those profits, if you're trading with a 10 sol port and you got it to 20 sol, withdraw 10 sol. Withdraw your stash every single day. Every once in a while, when you come across a crazy runner, if you want to increase your portfolio, slowly but surely, do that. Sure, but withdraw to your stash daily. This is what we call stabling up, meaning turn into USDC or send it to a ledger and just stack up, or your bank account, stack up. Okay, if you could take 10 sol to 30 to 50 Solana, just do that over and over and just start fresh daily. I've had 100 sol in my trading wallet and naturally just risk way more than I should. I round trip tens of thousands of dollars by doing that. You don't want to do that. Okay, I remember specifically, this was a few months ago. There was this meta, it was Satoshi Nakamoto meta. We were guessing based on a documentary that was going to drop who was going to be Satoshi Nakamoto, right? And there was a crazy meta. Len Sassaman, we all believed it was Len Sassaman. There was so many theories behind it. I was full on board with it. I made money off Len Sassaman, but it ended up not being the one. Len Sassaman's cat, Sasha, was the one I lost a bunch of money on only because I didn't stick to my rules and I just had hundreds of sol in one wallet. And I had too much conviction that it was going to be Len and this cat was going to go crazy. I was already up thousands on the trade too, right? It hit like 20 million in like an hour or something like that. And I just kept sizing in because I had the money. I kept buying every single dip because I'm like, this is going to be Len Sassaman. The documentary is going to reveal it. Ended up being Todd or whatever. And even he negated it. Nobody knows still. It was like the stupidest thing at the end looking back. But the point is, having too much Solana in one wallet was the only reason why I lost. Because I would have stuck to my rules. I could have literally just took my P and, stuck to my rules. But I did it, right? So here's the key. You make money on Solana. You turn 10 to 20 to 30 sol, whatever it is. You send that extra sol to your ledger. Like I said in the beginning, you're going to be stacking up on majors. You can stack up on more Solana, more Bitcoin. more XRP, more altcoins that have potential. You can send money to your bank. You don't want it to be the other way around. You're doing it wrong. If you keep the money that you make at work, just keep going into Solana meme coins and you're just losing all the time. And you're at a net negative. There's no reason why you should be negative in crypto overall. If you're making money at work and you're putting money into crypto, you should be putting it into majors and a portion of that into Solana meme coins, and being able to flip that. If you're in the alpha groups, you're in the right groups, you're trading, you're locked in, you're waiting for alpha, you're following these rules, you're gonna make more money. And it should always be going this way, back into your ledger, back into your bank. Every single day I'm withdrawing 5 to 10 Solana minimum, because then you have a runner. You have random runners every single week where you just make 20, 30 SOL on a trade, 50 SOL on a trade, 100 SOL on a trade. And when that happens, it's just amazing. But by sticking to your rules, you still minimum are always going to have that 5 to 10 SOL. And this is how you live off of Web3. You send it to your ledger, send it to your bank. And then here's a bonus, Soul Card. I use Soul Card a lot. I have it linked to my Amazon. I have it on my Apple Pay. And basically what this does is lets you spend Solana straight off of a Visa card or a MasterCard. And you can spend money on Amazon, my freaking car. I took it to the shop. All the money I had to spend on a car. I use my Soul Card to pay for all that. No KYC. Doesn't ever have to even touch your bank account. You can spend a lot of money on it. So it's pretty cool. You could go to Soul Card. I'll leave the link for this under the video as well. You could use the code RAGE and have 40% off your first Apple card. It's just a fee to get it started, but it's worth it, okay? It's the only no KYC card and the only one that I've seen that's useful everywhere. I use it a lot. There's certain places, certain gas stations don't take it or like whatever, but for the most part, it's amazing. So that's how you wanna keep your ecosystem. It goes into your ledger, goes into your bank or your Soul Card. It doesn't even have to touch your bank unless you need it to, but you're profitable and you're staying profitable. You don't want to be on this side, that person who just keeps losing it all, gambling it all, not following the rules, not stacking any majors. So you're not seeing any profit at all, right? I just told somebody just last month in Rage Pro, I have TILLA's journal and I talk about the state of the markets. When we had a huge dip at $90, I told everybody, hey, you should be buying majors. Buy Solana, accumulate here. Some people wanted to gamble it all the way on meme coins, but if they stacked up 1,000, 2,000, they'd already have in profit 500 to 1,000 just over the last 30 days off of majors and still accumulating. And then with the 10% they gamble with on Solana meme coins, because at the end of the day, I don't like to call it real investments. We're bidding on things called Bitcoin or whatever, you know, like it's fun. Yes, it's highly profitable. We can extract a lot out of these markets, but at the end of the day, you want to be smart. So tap in with Ledger, tap in with your bank account, and you can use things like Soul Card. And that's just a bonus tip for me. So people ask me all the time, hey, you got money, bro, when we're scanning and we're getting in a minute. They'll see me get in like with 1 to 2 SOL. Sometimes I'll do 3, 4 SOL. But for the most part, if we're scanning and, you know, it's not like a conviction play or whatever, I'm getting into 1.5, 2 SOL. They'll see us make 5x on a trade. And people were like, man, if you would have put 5 SOL, you'd be up so much more, man. Guys, that's why you lose everything. That's why a lot of you guys aren't profitable. All right. I consistently turn 10 to 20 SOL to dozens of SOL in a day. This way, I never round trip. And most people made 6 figures this cycle or last cycle and gave it right back. Like they never saw that money because of that same mindset. They want to put more and more in the next one. They win a few trades and now they feel like, God, I've been there, and I'm talking from experience because I've done that before. You know, I've sized into trades way above my limits and made a lot of money. Cool, I got lucky that time. But then the second time I went and did it, I gave all those profits back anyway. So you might as well just stay disciplined the whole way and stay profitable. Follow your rules. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how up you are. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to size up and want to make more money over the long run, but it's a mindset thing. You have to be mentally prepared for that. If you're not used to trading 10 SOL every trade, every shitter, you're probably going to lose it, even if you have the money to lose it and you don't want to lose it. You want to protect your port. So be careful with that mentality, okay? So not only can you lose it, but many people get drained for keeping thousands of dollars on their wallet. Now, this has never happened to me, but you can get drained from clicking random links, fake verifications on Dex Screener, fake coins on Phantom. Sometimes when I'm in a runner, I'll get a lot of fake coins sent to me on my Phantom. And if you interact with those coins, you get drained. So be careful, watch out for things like that. Connecting your wallet to any website other than Axiom is pretty much a red flag. You're just asking to get drained. And it usually looks like these are a few bots that I came across that I screenshotted that I just knew was fake and didn't click. This one I believe was on Telegram, and this one was a website of a coin that I clicked. And I didn't click with those links because sometimes it could just be a random download. Sometimes it could be a random request to access my Phantom wallet, and you don't want to do these things. Now, usually it's not that easy. You have to usually give them access to your wallet or something of that nature, or download something that's bad. But for the most part, just don't interact with anything that feels fishy. If it looks weird, if it doesn't make sense, it's not real. There was one recently, somebody got drained for adding a bookmark or like Axiom rewards, and it looked official. It looked like an official Axiom website or whatever. There's only axiom.trade. I leave the link in the description. That's the only one you should be interacting with, and you should be good. Don't interact, don't connect your wallet to anything else. There's no free rewards. There's nothing like that. Now, if you use the link in the description, I do have a special link. I'm partnered with them now. You'll get double the rewards automatically, and you'll get even less freeze, 10% less freeze than just anybody else's link. So take advantage of that. Using the right link does pay off. But besides that, the main website, there's nothing you should be connecting your wallet to, okay? So be careful with that. Now, the last step, and to kind of close this off, family, never stop clicking. We all pay tuition fees. Every successful trader has lost a lot of money before making money. I lost tens of thousands personally, and I'm not saying you have to lose tens of thousands to make it, but I do want you to understand that when you keep going and when you become more disciplined, even if you lost a lot of money, or because it's funny, tens of thousands to me before was a lot, but now it doesn't even feel like a lot. It's all relative. You're going to become numb to money. You're going to look at money like numbers on a screen at a certain point when it comes to this stuff. It's just become percentages, 2x's, 3x's. Like, it'll become second nature to lose a lot less. You could cut your losses, let your winners run. All this becomes second nature. You'll know when you're in a runner. Right now, you might not know right away, but soon you'll build an intuition as you build your experience. You're gonna know what will do well and narratives that do good. And you're gonna know your entries, your style of entries, your risk management, and you're gonna dominate once you lock in. Now, locking in doesn't mean gambling on shitters all day long. It means paying attention to trends, not just chart trends, but trends in the actual X, right? In the universe, in the world. Paying attention to what's going viral, paying attention to retraces on recent developing cults. That's how we was able to get, even size in on Gork. We was waiting for retraces to size in, and we was able to front run that whole Elon tweet, that whole Elon meta. He changed his whole PFP to Gork. It was crazy. Learning and analyzing your past mistakes. If you're not journaling, you're not gonna make it, okay? And of course, we have the journal that we give out. We have the journal that actually counts for fees as well now. So you can download that. One of the main things when people ask me, hey, why am I not doing good? Or why am I losing? Or whatever the case. If you can't show me your journal and your last 50 to 100 trades, don't even talk to me about why you're losing. You're not even serious. How are you gonna know your patterns when you don't log them at all? That's how I knew I was gambling too much, or I was top blasting too much, or whatever the case is. My journal gave me a direct feedback on exactly what my patterns were and what I needed to cut out to stay profitable. And for me before, a lot of them was literally just gambled. If I just gambled less and wait for alpha more, and it sounds simple, but for me, it's like I had to see the pattern myself, from myself, in order to really grow from it. That comes from analyzing your past mistakes, journaling your trades. I'll leave that in the description as well. You could join the community. You can get that as well if you're not in the community. Now, studying charts to start recognizing patterns. Guys, I have the technical analysis university in the pro course as well. Go through this, learn from this. Okay, this will show you fibs, the golden ratios, where you could buy in on dips with less risk and more reward, order blocks, like knowing liquidity zones. Now, most of these things are not gonna work on 50 market cap shitters, but coins that develop the community where holders are holding, it has volume, it's held up over $1 million of market cap, ideally, that's where these technicals are going to shine and help you the most. So if you want to gamble, but very small, like 5% of your portfolio. Okay, live to trade another day. Wait for alpha, size into alpha up to 20% of your portfolio if it's real conviction, but live to trade another day. This is how you're going to make it. You're going to make it if you just don't get liquidated. That's what locking in means. Not sitting on pulse every single day, getting on every new pair, every gamble, and taking your port straight to zero. Revenge trading, emotional trading, all of these things. Not journaling your trades. That's not locking in. You're still locked in if you're scanning all day, learning, studying, researching, even if you don't get in a trade. It's probably better that way in most cases. Not losing is also winning. Think about that, family. So that's basically, how to not lose in meme coin trading. Family, I hope you got some value. There's going to be a lot more on the way. I'm going to be updating this course as well with a lot of stuff I talked about. The technical analysis is going to be updated, a whole lot of alpha. This is probably already the most valuable meme coin alpha group in the space, but we're only going to make it more valuable. And wag me, family. We're all going to make it. So I hope you guys got some value from this video, and I'll see you guys on the other side.